Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I want to do a story today about the fire and a massive explosion. It actually started with an explosion in Bangkok, Thailand. And a firefighter has actually passed away, and it's absolutely horrible. My heart goes out to the family of the firefighter that died. Actually, it was in a secondary blast. But we're going to talk about supply chain disruption today, all right? Now, I've been reporting this where we've seen, chip manufacturer burned to the ground. We've seen a grease manufacturer burned to the ground. It's actually happening all over the place. It's very interesting timing. And, we know this happens. Industrial accidents happen. I know a lot about industrial accidents. I've followed them for about 20 years, researched them. However, this is a very interesting time to be having so many. And I want to explain something. So we're just going to briefly go over this. The fire broke out around 3 a.m. at a foam and plastic pellet manufacturing factory just outside of Bangkok in Thailand. The blast can be heard from kilometers. I've seen the video. It's quite amazing. And what they do is they produce many things, but one of the things that they produce is the foam when you get your TV or computer shipped to you, and you'll notice there's this really nice plastic packaged foam that's fit perfectly around that item. And, I know I have tried to figure out, well, man, how do they do that? Well, and they've got this material, this plastic that goes inside the box, and then they inject it with these foam pellets, and they just slowly film that's low density foam, just slowly fills up the package and just nicely package that container. Now, that factory is now offline, okay? Now, a lot of you might think, well, who cares? There's I'm sure there's way more than just that one factory doing this. And you are correct. But the way the factories work is that they only are, they grow and grow and grow by how many orders they get. Companies don't just come out and say, we're open for business and we can actually do all of the production of whatever we're making for the entire earth. They don't do that, okay? So now that this factory is offline, there has to be another factory to take up the additional orders, the additional demand that they were doing in the first place. The problem is they're not set up for it. Those are the facts. There's just straight up facts. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's a fact. That's how factories work. Sure, factories can take on additional orders, but only so much because they only have so many tools, so many employees, so much square footage. So a lot of people think, well, yeah, but what does this have to do with big supply chain issues? Well, if you want to sell a TV, you're already having an issue. If you're in any country outside of the United States and you want to ship that TV or computer or any electronic over to us, well, first you're already having a hard time getting onto a ship because you can't get a shipping container. And if you get the shipping container, there's not enough ships because they're all backed up and running into each other and taking out cranes. Check out the stories that I did on that. But now you go, well, now we don't got the packaging. We can't even package it properly to get to somewhere safe. By the time it rattles around in that box, it'll probably be destroyed by the time it gets to the store. So my point being is that these are things that, and I'm not telling you to race out and go buy a big screen TV. I'm gonna give you some financial advice right now. That is the last thing you should be doing right now. If you're thinking that everything's honky-dory and everything's back to normal, it's not. And if you think, oh, this is doom and gloom, turn this thing off. Don't make a comment because you're going to be the one that's going to look silly because these are just facts. They're facts. The economy was stopped for a period of time. It hasn't happened in, for sure, the last 100 years where the whole world's economy was told, hey, take a break. And then let's open up and see how this works out. There are going to be bottlenecks. And the thing is that people don't realize, and I want to explain this to you, there's timelines in which businesses can either make it through that period of disruption, in their business, or they can't. And we're seeing companies all over saying, we can't do it. Bed Bath & Beyond and Staples closing stores, even though they're not closing them all, right? There's closing certain ones. That is a sign that they can't make it. If they could make it and they saw something rosy on the other side of this, a few months down the road, even a year down the road, and they didn't have the money, they'd go raise the money. But they're saying, nope, we can't do this. Those are facts. So they're closing businesses. I'm sitting out here in a parking lot. You're probably wondering why I'm out here. Well, it's because my bank hasn't opened yet, right? Because, hey, it said, you know what? because of something that's going on in the atmosphere that people might catch something from someone else, let's just close more. Let's just not open till 10 and we'll close like at 4. Are you guys seeing your bank doing that? Cool, that's gonna stop the spread of things. No, well, what it's gonna do is jam pack the same amount of people that need to do banking every day into a tighter box. But whatever, that's just their way of showing you we don't wanna pay the wages, and that's just less people every day that are working a full 8 hours. And then eventually they're gonna close a branch down, like I've reported just recently, where banks are closing down branches. My point being is this, because you're going, well, hey, how did you talk about a factory and now you're talking about banks? It's all the same thing. Every time a factory is destroyed, people lose jobs. Every time a factory is destroyed, other companies cannot move their products properly, which means more people lose jobs. Every time a bank slows down their hours and goes, hey, you know what, instead of 8 hours, let's be open for 6, people are losing wages, eventually people lose jobs. So I just want to share these things with you. And you know what's funny? Because on the other side of this, as this takes hold and people wake up, you're gonna see, I believe in California, we're gonna see $6 a gallon fuel in the month of August. So put that one in the box. So all the people out there are like to go, we're gonna get this guy. Copy. I hate to tell you, it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen in August, it's gonna happen in September, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen in August. So the facts is that things are starting to slow down. People haven't figured it out yet because they pulled the masks off. They're out there vacationing. They're super stoked, super patriotic because of the time of year, which I love. However, people aren't seeing the writing on the wall. And when they do, what's interesting, and you're all going to see this live on this show, this channel, they're going to find out all at once. It's going to seem like almost a light was switched off. It's going to be interesting. And I'm going to do some stories about why that happens too in the next month. So with that being said, guys, I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you guys. I hope we don't see any other firefighters pass from these tragic industrial incidents. That being said, guys, the Economic Ninja is out.